Okay, welcome on board, my trusty co-pilots. Episode 9, Saturday morning. I've got some free time now, so again, I jump into the cockpit to practice. But this time, I would like to do it a little bit differently, because as you know, and I already mentioned in the previous episode, if you go to uncertifiedpilot.com, I have made my own flight training, right? So that's structured stages of flight training that I need to go through, at least in my opinion, to some extent say that I've become instrument rated in Flight Simulator. Now, the idea is that for each stage, I've put some video containers here, which are totally empty right now because I've just started my flight training. But today I think I'm ready to do the first video container here, the section traffic patterns. I've already did some traffic patterns online with you guys, and I think that today, GMT, welcome aboard. So today I would like to do a flight test to demonstrate to you and to me that I can do a traffic pattern alone. Well, not perfectly, but good enough. And one by daytime and one by night. But in this stream today, I guess I will do only the daytime one. If I have some more free time on my hands this afternoon, I will also do the nighttime traffic pattern. So that I can upload it to YouTube and then put it here. And well, as I progress through my flight training, all these will be filled with YouTube movies of one of my streams here on Twitch, demonstrating that I can do short flights, long haul flights, and the same I will do for the next stage of my flight training. That is controlled, I guess, Delta Airspace. Yeah, that's Delta Airspace. Again, traffic patterns, but there are some well, increased complexity there. So today I would like to do the traffic pattern flight test by day. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that I'm going to switch to a new kind of mode, overlay mode. Also, kind of connecting to one of my earlier experiences in the previous episodes, I noticed that it takes a lot of effort, believe it or not, to chat with you guys while I'm flying. So much that it actually distracts me from flying and, gives me a hard time to nail those different flight skills. Hey Dad, welcome. So what I'm going to do for this flight test, so I'm just going to do 3 traffic pattern laps here on Bakersfield, but I'm going to switch to another mode. I'm just going to very briefly switch to it so you know what it looks like. And let me see, this button. In other words, I'm going to switch off the webcam and also the sound of my mic, so I can solely focus for just this single flight as a flight test on my own flight performance. And I will just keep on streaming and you guys can chat and do whatever. And then after I shut down my airplane, after I did my traffic pattern laps, I will put on the webcam again and review the flight with you guys. But I think it's interesting to see what this does in terms of training, or only the real flight test kind of episode that I'm doing right now, because I think it will make a difference. And also, as I progress through my flight training, I would like to nail or go through these milestones, you could say, to really demonstrate one time that I can do a traffic pattern, and all the other stuff that is coming up, for example, the short flights and the long haul flights for each of those stages. So that's the idea. So what I'm going to do is in just a moment, after the intro, switch off the webcam, and then I'm just going to do my routines. Please chat and do whatever, follow me along, but you will not hear from me until I shut down the engine. And I'm hoping that I can demonstrate to myself and to you guys that I can do a full traffic pattern, I guess 2 or something like that, doing all the procedures on PilotEdge, and please keep track of the things, of my mess ups or stuff that you thought, hey, Tim, you're going in the wrong there. So you can let me know after we shut down and we can do a review. So that's the idea, just to see what happens. I think it's interesting. Okay, I hope you enjoy.
I'm passing through 500, Shamrock, 715. 715, 134, 125.
Okay, so first, just before I do, some water. Oh yeah, and something else. I've updated my weather charts. So you will notice in just a sec. I've added a new one, cloud sealing one, and I'm using a new weather chart, surface analysis chart. So we can talk about that later on in the shutdown. Guys, here we go. I will see you in the webcam after shutdown. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, I'm just mentioning that my overlay trick that I just show you doesn't work with the browser. I only have so many overlays that I can enable. So instead what I'm going to do then is I'm going to do the briefing with you guys, and as soon as I'm going to fly, then I'm going to switch over to that other mode, because otherwise stuff gets complex here with all the switches and all the different overlays. So that's the idea. Okay. So weather briefing. As I told you, I've got some other weather charts here. This one. It's the National Aviation Weather website, so not aviation related, but just national. And there are some charts here that I also found in ForeFlight that were much more informative, at least to me. So I like this one better because there are also some depictions showing what kind of weather can be found in these areas. So not only low pressure here and a cold front, but you can see heavy snow. This might be turbulence, I guess. No, it's not. It's not. No, it's not. It's not. It's just an area, and you can see here it's rain and snow. And as you can see, it covers the LA area a bit here from, and also including our own area here at Bakersfield. There's a cold front here coming in. Currently here in Bakersfield, at Meadows, just a few miles north, weather conditions are VFR. Overcast at 10,000, which is okay. Winds calm 150 at 3, so that's fine. If we look at the coast, you can see marginal VFR. So I'm hoping that we can do, I mean, looking at the chart, at this surface chart, it seems to me that this bad weather is coming to the east. So how much time do we have to do some traffic patterns here at Bakersfield until that bad weather comes crosses our way? So that's a first kind of general thing that I'm noticing here. Then, as you can see here, the forecast. So marginal VFR at 06 Zulu. We're currently at 10 Zulu, so that's 4 hours ago. And here at 18 Zulu, in about 8 hours, you can see that marginal VFR is gone up north. And here is turbulence, moderate or greater turbulence area. So weather is improving, you could say. So that means that perhaps that bad weather that is coming in from the west, from the coast, will not really go all the way towards Bakersfield, but perhaps it's going to circle up to the north, looking at this forecast. But we need to keep a close eye out on any bad weather. Let me see if I can quickly switch back to the cockpit, enable TrackIR. I mean, as you can see right now here in Bakersfield, 10,000 feet, overcast. I can see some other clouds here in the distance. on a much lower ceiling there. But this is perfect traffic pattern flying, so this is great, I guess. Switching back, so move on. Geographical air mats. Let's zoom out a bit to have an idea of where we are. Well, there's a lot going on here, a bit north of us. So this is San Francisco, Santa Barbara. Here was Oceano. So here is Bakersfield, or here is Bakersfield, I guess. So there's a lot of stuff going on. IFR I can see, turbulence I can see, mountain obscuration. So that means that there is perhaps cloud ceiling or less visibility, and obstructing visibility to fly because of the terrain, which is a very helpful depiction here. So that's something that we need to look out for. Here at Bakersfield for traffic patterns, we are just fine. Air mats, well, this is not really useful. No convective SIG mats active, that's also good. Cloud ceiling, well, you can see it moving. Let me zoom out to have a better picture of what is actually going on. Well, as you look at this, these satellite images, you can see the low pressure area here, turning to the left, moving up. So that is kind of confirming this chart, saying that the marginal VFR is going to the north, right? Let me see where we were. We were here. Yeah, so that's interesting to note, but this area of cloud is now rolling in to the mainland. Now, this is a chart that I've added also on ForeFlight, but I couldn't find on the Aviation Weather Center website, which is cloud ceiling forecast, which is great. This is for Saturday 18 Zulu. We're currently at 10. What were we? Let me check on that other chart. 10:30. 10:30, so let's say 9 was just an hour ago. Well, you can see looking at the different depictions of color. This would be Bakersfield around here, so that would be, well, 6,000 up to 12,000 or 3,000 up to 6. So that's VFR weather, so that's good. But perhaps that cloud area will move to the east and cross us. But that's interesting. We can also say, well, if we're going to do some traffic patterns in the next 3 hours, what will happen? Well, as you can see, still not a lot. Still 3,000 feet would be the minimum, I guess, for our area. So that's just fine. Even if it reaches 1,000, 3,000 for a traffic pattern, that's okay, which would be marginal VFR. Below 1,000, it would be IMC. So fine, but I think this is a very useful, very useful chart. So I've added and will add it in all of my next episodes. This one, oh yeah, I also added. So this is kind of like a surface chart. So again, with the fronts and the high and low pressure areas, but then with radar precipitation on it. So as you can see here, there are all kinds of different depictions from rain to snow, but then between brackets here, the likelihood of there being rain or snow. So the light green here says rain chance of rain. Now here is Santa Barbara, and this is LA. So we're about in a darker green area, so that means likely rain, not just chance, but likely rain. So, well, we have to see. Snow, we don't, it doesn't apply to us or other stuff. But again, you can say this is a more detailed chart of this one. This is a more general kind of chart, and that other one is a bit more detailed. Let me see. Hey, Phil Metal, welcome on board. So I think that is interesting. It's a more finely grained kind of chart. Perhaps we can replace this one with the first one, because the first one is a bit too general. But I don't know. I like general charts just to give you first. I mean, it's kind of like getting a very general picture of the weather and then going deeper, a more detailed, construct a more detailed weather report view. Next up, then the radar plot. That's the one that you already know. Here showing winds. Coming from the east to the southwest. Doesn't mean that it's actually raining here. It means that there is a lot of humidity or moist in the sky, inferring, or you could infer looking at that perhaps the weather is bad. IFR or that kind of stuff. So it's not only about where it's raining, it's also about, well, where chances are if there's a lot of humidity in the air is unstable and might lead to thunderstorm or other kinds of bad stuff. So signaling, queuing, that we need to keep an eye out on that weather. Still, we're just doing traffic patterns, so that's very local. But if we did a cross-country flight, well, you get the idea. A more fine-grained view here of what is going on in terms of moist or humidity in the area. Winds, not a lot going on. Stephen, hey, Certified Pilot, really enjoying your videos. Been keeping up to date on YouTube when I've missed you live. Cool, thank you, Stephen. Hope you enjoy. Well, those are long episodes, so it takes some time to keep up with what we're doing, especially when I'm streaming each and every day. So, but I'm glad you enjoying the channel. Thanks. That's encouraging. So winds, again, as usual, most high winds are on the ocean, not on the mainland, and especially not in our case. So that's good. METARs, same as SkyVector, as SkyVector could show us, right? Looking at these well, bullets, these colored bullets. But here we can have a more, let me see, here we were. General look. So you can see marginal VFR here on the coast. So happy that we're not at Oceano right now. Some VFR here. But I seem to be missing, this is Bakersfield, I guess. That's why I missed it last time. I couldn't find it. I thought it would be here, but no, it's much more farther away. So again, confirming SkyVector here too. VFR. I think that SkyVector might be more interesting to use to have an idea of where we are, because geographically it seems much easier to identify those airports. So I think I will get this chart out of my briefing, because it doesn't really add that much in comparison to SkyVector, but still. Again, what I like about our what I did not in the previous episode, but the episode before that, is you can see that again, behind this mountain range or mountain ranges, you can see VFR weather, right? So if you would like to fly or learn to fly in real world weather conditions in Flight Sim, go to this side, to the east side of the LA area, because on the coast, well, chances are there's a much higher possibility of bad weather. Winds, we're almost there, so I'm going to remove this one, I guess, from my briefing last time. Area forecast. Southern California, coastal, broken. This means cloud icing, or it was suggested by me, suggested by someone in the previous episode, cloud icing. So that's something that is quite important for us to note. So if we gonna fly through clouds, which we shouldn't as VFR or private pilots, and especially when the temperature is below 10 degrees Celsius, then chances are icing, right? So pitot tube or pitot heat. 14 Zulu broken. 1,500. I mean, that's more interesting, but it's LAX. So that's LA. We're much more north, but still. Flight level, I don't know what that means. LIRD. Flight level 260. Visibility 3. So that's marginal VFR. So that's something that you should flag as a private pilot if you're going to fly around the LAX area. The minus means light. So light rain and fog. Okay, so this is not real safe. It doesn't give a very safe and comfortable feeling when you're going to fly in the LA area. Outlook, marginal VFR. Well, again, that confirms these measures. And might turn into not light rain, but just rain and fog. South of LAX, broken, we don't care. Inland broke, out of VFR. Yeah, I guess this means south of LAX. So VFR, this is perfect weather for to do our traffic pattern flying. NOTAMs, we could check. Lima 45, that's Bakersfield, uncontrolled airport. View NOTAMs. Well, there's a lot of NOTAMs here. These are not really relevant. They refer to obstacle tower light. I guess obstructing tower light. I don't know what that means. Obst. I guess obstructing or obstacle. And that it's out of order, or where it's out of service. Yeah, out of service. Have helicopters, yeah, so we already reviewed this in the previous episode, not really relevant to us, but again, I would like to incorporate these NOTAMs in my flight briefings. Elias, welcome. Did some patterns labs at John Wayne. It's not bad, high overcast. Cool, cool. Thank you for joining us here again. And lastly, flight plan, what we don't need, we're just going to do traffic pattern flying. Okay, so that completes the briefing. So before we can start, I've also just remembered that I made some notes based on the previous flight that I saw that I didn't go well, or that I would like to correct. So let me finish on that, and then I'm going to fly and turn off the webcam, because this is going to be a flight test. I would like to solo my traffic patterns by my own here on Bakersfield, and after I shut down my airplane, I will turn on the webcam again, and we'll review with you guys how it went. I guess that when I turn off the webcam, I'm expecting to have a lot more mental space to focus. In the previous episodes, it takes so much effort, unconsciously, I guess, to chat with you guys and while flying. And I guess when I turn off my webcam, I can just for one single time now focus on nailing those traffic patterns. Then things might be go a little bit more smoothly, and then I upload those. I upload this stream to YouTube and put it on my blog in those video containers as part of my first flight test demonstration. First off, there was some confusion because I mentioned in the previous episode that, or well, you could perhaps understood it wrong, that PilotEdge is simulator specific, which is not. If you are on PilotEdge, I guess that Elias mentioned that last time. If you are on PilotEdge, it doesn't matter whether you're on X-Plane or on Prepared or on FSX. Every user of PilotEdge is connected to one multiplayer network, and you can see in PilotEdge, in Flight Simulator, all other pilots, independent of what flight simulator they use. So it's not like when you are flying in Prepared and go on PilotEdge, you only see the Prepared guys. You see also the X-Plane guys and the FSX guys. It's one multiplayer network. That's important to know. I love PilotEdge, so that's something that I would like corrected here. Then, based on my own checks, again, I forgot my taxi checks last time. So somehow when I start the taxi, I'm focusing on talking to you guys or doing other stuff, and I totally forget about doing that. So that's something that keeps coming up in my flight. So I'm also wondering whether I could somehow get a whiteboard or some kind of physical or sticky note somewhere on my cockpit here, physically here in my room, in front or behind the screen or something that reminds me these are your most frequent mess ups, right, before I go to fly. I also notice, which is a very cool series, TV shows that you might be interested in following too. It's called Dangerous Flights, I believe. On YouTube, the first season is online, or perhaps the guy is already banned by YouTube for doing so. But those are real-world pilots, very experienced ones, both instrument rated, well, the whole bunch, and they do ferry flights. So there are people all over the world who buy secondhand airplanes, but buy them in the United States, and they need them in another country in Europe or in Australia or something like that. That challenge. Thank you for following. Thank you for showing up. So then a Cessna or a Cirrus or some kind of other airplane needs to be flown all the way from the United States to Europe or to Australia. So world trips in a small general aviation airplane. And they follow those guys along as they go. Really aviation oriented, also a bit flight training oriented. It's really fun stuff. And one of the pilots there said, well, I have this, I don't have it here, but I was considering to buy one, a plastic duck, so a yellow small duck. And he always brought along with his flights. And when he did a big mess up related to flying, he wrote down with a marker on that duck what he was doing wrong. And he always brought that duck with him, and he put it on his glare shield or whatever as a reminder that he only should make that mistake, once, as you could say, or not at all. But that's a nice idea. And it also applies to Flight Simulator. I mean, for example, me forgetting those taxi checks. Well, I could have a rubber yellow duck here, the toy duck here sitting on my desk saying taxi checks, right? And before I go, it's something like a symbol or a reminder to do things properly. So, well, dangerous flights on YouTube. Have a look. I forgot to do my departure announcement, but most importantly, I was not sticking to my plan. So Elios was departing from Taft in the last episode, which was very cool. He was already heading to Bakersfield, but he departed from 07 while I was planning to go from 25, because I knew, also looking at the scenery, that 07, the 07 runway had a yellow X on it. But when I saw him departing, I instantly changed my plan, and that is a flag for welcoming confusion in your flight. I should have stick to 25 and not go with that plan. So that's good to know. If you divert from your plan, then that should be a signal that you should rethink the entire scheme, because chances are your flight planning is based on every single chain of every single choice that you made. So if you change one choice or go another direction with your flight plan, then perhaps the other steps in your flight plan might be messed up too. So that's a very important one. Stick to your flight plan, or be flexible, but consider that different or diverting from your flight chain from your flight plan messes up other stuff later on too, probably. I left the traffic pattern in a 45-degree outward of the traffic pattern when I left Taft, and it should be an inward. Well, these are small or minor things, but again, I would like to nail this and understand what is proper procedure. So if I leave a traffic pattern, depart it straight out, you should make a 45-degree inward to the pattern, so left hand 45-degree rather than outward. Also, what I mentioned here on well, I shouldn't click on the stream. I should click on my browser. Where are we? What I did quite well, I think, was when I briefed my flight from Taft to Bakersfield, that there was this military air route, right? Airway, VR1262, and that we should be very careful when we cross that airway, because military air activity is simulated by PilotEdge, even if PilotEdge is not in service, like right now. Still, those drone airplanes fly on those airways with 400 knots, well, from one side to the other. So that was a good consideration, but once I departed, I totally forgot about that, and I just crossed that airway and flew to Bakersfield. It never crossed my mind. So again, those are very important stuff. If you plan your flight, you should also carry out those considerations or whatever you're planning while you are flying. Same goes for the cruise checklist and the descent checklist, which I forgot again. I did do my climb checklist, but then as soon as I did that, I totally forgot and got involved in where's Bakersfield, or I need to stay straight and level, and well. So again, that's something that I need to improve. In the traffic pattern, I need to reset my elevator trim before I land, because if I don't, then my yoke becomes very sensitive and it just, well, yanks all the way around. So that's something that I should remember to do. Also on touchdown, I mentioned several times when I touch down, and especially when I do touch and goes, too quickly I reach out to my flaps to retract them and forget about staying on track on the center line, and then the airplane just moves around the around the runway, which is quite dangerous. So first, when I touch down, I should ensure that I'm stable and on track, and then I need to retract the flaps. Yeah, and also last thing, when I shut down the airplane, and you can already show you, I didn't check my flows. So as a result, I forgot to turn my fuel tank selector to the left or right to prevent. Oh, sorry, I will switch. To prevent cross-feeding, I forgot to close my cowl flaps. So again, after my flows, there's nothing wrong with doing these flows by memory, but I should always verify them by looking at the charts, at the checklist. Okay. That's about it. So guys, again, I'm going to do a traffic pattern solo on my own, and I think if I disable the webcam, which might be a little bit boring to you. I hope not. I think I have more mental room here to nail my traffic patterns as a flight test to prove that I can do this, and then I will put this tree in this episode on my blog as a proof that I am capable of flying a couple of traffic patterns mostly perfectly. I hope. If I mess up completely, I need to do this another time tomorrow or today. So that's the idea. That means that I'm going to disable the webcam again. I cannot switch to the browser, I've noticed a few minutes ago, because somehow an XSplit that I'm using to stream, I only have so much overlays that I can use. So I don't have an overlay that can switch to the browser while my webcam is disabled. So well, that's just a technical limitation. So I can only stick to this view in the cockpit, and if you also it's not a cross-country flight, so I'm just here on Bakersfield. So there's no reason for me to switch to the sectional chart while I'm flying. But please feel free to do on your own at your computer or wherever you are. Okay. So guys, wish me luck. I'm gonna fly after I shut down. So once I did a few laps, I guess 2 or something like that. Or if I totally mess up, I come back and park here again. Once I shut down the engine right here on the ramp, I will put on the webcam again, and I will review my flight. If there's anything you noticed during my flight that I did wrong, or that you thought, hey, what are you doing there, Tim? Make a note or put it on chat or whatever, so we can talk about that later on. That really helps me to spot things that I can improve on. That's the idea. That's the idea. Okay. Traffic pattern flying. Well, guys, let me see if I can switch, if that works. I guess it will. Guys, I hope I see you in a happy state, satisfied state on the other side. Wish me luck. See you soon. Oh, I should turn off the microphone here too. Blip.
Airport information, Victor 2059er Zulu, wind 006 at frequency, visibility 8, sky condition, ceiling 6,500, broken, temperature 122.9er, altimeter 300, warp, ILS, runway 30, right and visual, runway 30, left, landing and departing, runway 30, right, runway 30, left, VFR aircraft, see direction of flight. condition X-ray 2107 Zulu, wind 006 at 3, visibility 8, sky condition, ceiling 6500, broken, temperature 2.9er, altimeter 300 warp, ILS, runway 30, right and visual, runway 30 left in use, landing and departing, runway 30 right in, runway 30 left, VFR aircraft, stay direction of flight, all aircraft read back short instructions, advise controller on initial contact, you have X-ray.
What the fuck was that? I don't know what that was, but that wasn't me. It was some kind of a twister going on. I know my yoke is not responsive at all. What was going on? Nothing wrong here. Let me check. Let me check the hangar. Perhaps something. I don't think it's a hangar. I think it's active sky next with some kind of weird turbulence stuff. Let me see. No, it's not. Elevator. Bang. Okay. So suddenly, out of nowhere, elevator error. Well, yeah, now we're dead. There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, that was really, really unexpected and so extreme. I don't think you can do anything about that. Even more so, I don't really like it to be that extreme. I mean, this was just a total crash. But I'm curious, though, to look. Perhaps we can... Let me see if I can just slow down here. But I went so well, guys. I was perfect traffic patterns. My announcements were great. I fixed those foul plugs. Is it slowing down? It went so great. And then suddenly out of nowhere... Or did I miss an elevator error in my walk around? Let me see. No, I don't want to fix it. I want to go outside. Yeah, I have to shut down either way. So quick. Because the state of the aircraft is remembered or archived outside of a flight sim. So either way. Okay, off. Close. And windows open because now no wind is coming in from the... Yeah. Okay. So what was going on here? Let me see. Outside. Elevators. Show me the money. Show me the freaking money. There, every bolt is in. In. Ah. It is out. I think that is moved out. This is also, this bolt or this hole is always there, but I might in my pre-flight inspection forgot or did not notice that there wasn't a bolt in here. And I guess that when I started, it would be a yellow warning in the maintenance hangar. Let me see, guys, which button I need to press. That button? Yeah. It was yellow when I did my walk around, and I didn't notice this bolt not being in there. And so when I went flying, it suddenly went to red, and A2A said, well, if you're not doing your walk around properly, you'll die. And that is what happened. So the idea is, if I now stop my stream and upload it to YouTube, we can rewatch and see whether I actually missed out on this bolt. And I guess I did. And so I deserve to die in Flight Simulator. Steve, you'll have to watch the stream back. Yeah, exactly. So I think that was it. I was too hasty not looking at what was going on here. Wow. Wow. Oh man, that's cool. Let me see. Yeah. We're crashed, guys. I'm dead. So that also reminds me, by the way, of something I read a long time ago on flightsim.com. There were some guys, or one guy who initiated that thread, who said, what do you guys know, talking to the community? Let me release my seatbelts here. What do you do as a flight simulator pilot if you crash? Do you have some kind of a scheme or some kind of a trick or some kind of a way to not punish yourself, but to really emphasize the weight of being. I mean, I was dead now in real life because I was too hasty doing my walk around. I mean, in a sense, that is the case. I should be taking this very, very seriously. I mean, it was fun. I saw some guys of you also laughing like, what the hell was going on there? I had the same feeling, right? Whoa, this is just my PC doing. But the blame is on me. I didn't do, I guess that's the case. It shouldn't be on red, that elevator error. It was on, I know for sure almost that I forgot about checking those elevators and that bolt wasn't there when I did my walk around. So I'm dead now. What am I going to do to emphasize the weight or the seriousness of that mistake? Because I can now say, well, okay, well, stupid of me, should do that again. Steve, so did you pass the test? No, obviously I did not pass the test. So my flight skills were good, but I did do my walk around properly. But now the question is, what am I going to do to make it stick or make it? I mean, now a certified flight instructor would look very angry to me and say, Tim, you are a piece of shit. You are dead. You're not only dead, but your airplane is total rubbish. My airplane is total rubbish. I guess I would rent that airplane from my CFI, and I would be crashing onto a house in that neighborhood around Bakersfield, and I would have been in the local news. So let's stick to this situation or event. And how can I crashed. This is my first crash in my flight simulator training series. Should I scratch, you know, like the 1-2s, I don't know why you call that or describe that in English, but a scratch like, well, you died once on my iMac here on my screen. Or should I say, well, as a punishment, you are not allowed to fly for 1 week. Or should I say, you can only do ground operations for 1 week until you have, I mean, kind of like the Chinese sushi, Japanese style, the samurai style, drill it in, and then you are allowed to fly again. Because if I now say, oh, well, it's my mistake, well, that was fun, and go flying again, then I don't learn anything. What do you guys think? Riding on a duck, yeah. Yeah, so I'm curious, guys. What do you think? What should I do to now, as part of my training, to improve or to feel, yeah, not guilty? I don't know. It's not really. It's not about just having a bad feeling about this, but it's also a very educational. I mean, it's a perfect example. It's a great. I agree, Dad. It's a great lesson. I'm really happy that this happened on a stream kind of level. But to me personally, I should not take this lightly. I died by not doing my walk around seriously. I just respawn and get on with it. Yeah, no, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to think about that, guys. What I'm going to do. If you have any suggestions, let me know. By private message on Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Let me know what you guys think. In the meantime, I don't have an airport. I don't have an airplane, let alone a virtual life. Oh man. Also, what I didn't do, I remember now, as a review of the flight, I didn't do my flight control test at all at ground. I didn't do my elevator and aileron check. You know what you should do at a run-up, or which I find strange, by the way, why you should do that on run-up and not on the as part of the pre-flight. But on all YouTube movies, I see real pilots doing that flight control check, the box, you know, with the yoke at the run-up stage. Well, I think, well, if you then notice that something is wrong, you should taxi again, and you've wasted your time taxiing and doing all that kind of stuff. Why not do that as part of the pre-flight? But I don't know what the reasoning is, but somehow that is in every checklist. But I didn't do that, and if I did so, I would have noticed that the elevator wasn't moving, I guess, wasn't moving. And then I thought, hey, there's something going on here. I mean, the yoke might even, I might be able to just pull on the yoke, but that isn't a guarantee that the elevator here would actually be moving too. I think you should try again, practice that with you until you are comfortable doing it. It was moving though, because you did one touch and go. Yeah, that's true. I was already doing a lap, but no, not necessarily, because I can imagine that A2A would simulate that the axis on which the elevator can move would not be full in case of this intermediate damage state. So while I'm flying, I'm not really using full elevator control to do my touch and goes, right? It's very gentle. I mean, very slight adjustments, really. So perhaps if I did a full box check on the run-up, I would have noticed that at one particular point when I pull on the yoke, the elevators would not go down more. I don't know for sure, but that could be the case. Wow, this is so cool. But I should take this seriously and feel guilty because I fucked up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is jump back into the cockpit. And I'm going to go slew mode. I guess, where are we? We were on the downwind leg. Also, what I think in my next flight test, I'm going to put on the... I don't like, because you guys cannot hear my announcements if I turn off the mic. And in this uncontrolled airport, that's not really a problem. But in the later stages of my flight training, when I talk to ATC, I guess you guys would like to hear me talk with air traffic control as part of the flight test. Also for any of you who like to do those check rides in PilotEdge too, that makes sense. So I guess I just need to turn on that mic either way, but not my webcam. But then it doesn't really matter at all. Doesn't make sense just to hide my webcam. I don't know. Yeah, slew. So where are we? We're on the downwind leg, and I cannot turn my... Yeah, there's Bakersfield. Yeah. Where were we? We were parked... Well, no, let's not park it here. We park it at a hangar because we are suggesting that I've ordered a new airplane. Here we are. So, yeah, then I'm going to go to the hangar. No, 7 that is. Just using my keyboard here. Elevator error. Yeah, make sure you do a proper pre-flight. Thank you, mechanic. Oh, man. Okay, so what I'm going to do is a complete overhaul because also based on the landings and all the stuff, A2A might also have simulated now other damage or incoming damage in my cylinders or other stuff because I did some very heavy extreme flight maneuvers there while I was trying to get a hold of the airplane. Also bumped into the ground. So I guess I'm going to do a complete overhaul of the airplane. There she goes. Engine 0 hours, great shape. Okay, that's it. As is factory state, you could say. Yeah, then I'm going to put on, let me see, buttons. Wheel chocks, the control lock, and pitot cover, and nut items because there aren't any here, and that's about it. Then I'm gonna save the flight. Default, okay. Yes. Whoa, I don't know what that sound was, but I'm hoping that wasn't another thing I forgot to do, or Perhaps it was the door, I don't know. Okay. Okay, so guys, I'm going to stop my stream and think about what I'm going to do. I mean, wow. That was something else. Hide menu, yeah. So if you have any new call sign, no Dad, I'm not going to use a new call sign. I am Papa Hotel Tango India Mike. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I reset my airplane. No, but I need a way to... And also, it doesn't make sense to say I'm not going to fly for a week, because the whole idea here is that I need to learn. That's the incentive. So not flying for a week is the complete opposite of that. That doesn't make sense. I should be flying more. Perhaps I should even cancel some of my appointments later today or tomorrow. That would be it. That would be a much better way to say, and then to spend those on flying because I just died today. That would be much more... Your girlfriend, yeah. Well, and my sister also is coming later today, which I'm looking forward to. But still, it should be educational. But it's a nice topic. What do you do when you crash in Flight Simulator? Well, most of you, I guess, just reset and say, oh, bummer. But in terms of serious flight sim, what is uncertified pilot is all about, I don't agree with that quick fix. I don't know. Guys, I'm going to stop streaming. I'm going to think about that. But chances are, what's the time here in the Netherlands? It's about 1 o'clock. We'll get... my sister will arrive here, I guess, at 5. So I still have a lot of time on my hands. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a quick break. Stop this stream and we'll restream in about half an hour or so, and I will just do the traffic patterns again. Either way, I need to increase my training rate and not say and not punish myself for it. Yeah, internalize the lesson and go on. Yeah, but I do like to somehow archive or remember that I've crashed, but I don't know how I should do that. Perhaps on my checklist. On my checklist. I forgot to do the pre-flight exterior inspection. Perhaps I should change my checklist and get a mark or a blood kind of mark there saying you fucked up something there in your exterior pre-flight. I mean, because that is where the education is, on the checklist. I forgot to carefully look at the elevator trim. So that would make sense. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, because then each and every flight, when I look at my checklist, I see that blood mark, and I know I died there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make another version of my checklist, print it out, put it in plastic, and I'm going to search for a nice font, some kind of vampire, bloodish kind of font saying, killed. So stamp, killed, bum. And then I'm going to put it on the elevator part of it. That is a nice, elegant, effective, sensible way. Yeah, it's my checklist. This is what I'm going to do. This is turning into a horror movie. Yeah. No, but guys, do you know what I'm getting at? It should be educational, and I should be serious about this. I just died. That's what happened in Flight Sim, and this should be a mark. And my checklist is a thing that I look each and every time on all of my flights. It should be on there, bang, and that's it. So I'm gonna stop the stream immediately. I will stream, or I will replay this stream, and go back to my pre-flight walk around. For you guys who are watching this on YouTube, I guess you already did. And then, well, I expect I missed that. I'm almost sure about that. Guys, I will take a break, eat something, lunch, I guess around in half an hour or so. I will restream again. If you are enjoying this channel, please jump on board again, and I will do that flight test again. But I did like the fact that the webcam was off and that the mic was off. because that really enabled me just to focus on my flying. And you could already see on my, based on my flight performance, aside of the mess up of the exterior walk around, that I was doing great. The only thing I don't like about that is when I do my oh, but I know how I can fix that. I would like you guys to hear to do my announcements too, but I know how I can do it because my best friend Ulrich, of the developer of SPAD.neXt, the driver software he made for all the Saitek driver panels that I'm using here. I worked with him on the beta testing to incorporate these modules because Saitek's panels are not really that great. He made such an advanced driver software. I guess it's $25 or something like that, but it's perfect. You can assign any kind of keyboard stroke or anything you like. You can assign multiple keyboard or flight sim assignments to one single button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign an additional keyboard stroke on my transmission push to talk button that disables the mic. And once I release it, it puts on the mic again. So only when I transmit to PilotEdge, you guys can hear me too. So that's a nice test, an experiment we can do in about half an hour when I go to flight to see if that works. Because I would like you guys to hear me, especially in the later stages of my training when I talk with air traffic controllers. I guess it makes sense that you guys hear what I'm saying when I'm doing my announcements. Yeah, that makes sense. Guys, thank you. Yeah, as passengers, you die too. So I hope you also feel the seriousness and get inspired of taking your flight simulator training up to the next level and really trying to nail this and make it as realistic as possible. I will eat something, I guess about half an hour or so. I will restream and nail that traffic pattern because that's something that I do need to nail today as part of my progressing flight training. Guys, quick outro, and then I will see you soon. Bye.
I'm passing through 500 Chinook, 715. 715, 134.125.